You are watching Channel Adrian TV.
Yo, YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another video. Before we get into today's video, y'all know what y'all need to do. Subscribe to the channel, like and comment on the videos. Also follow me on Rumble where I post. And if you see anything you want me to react to, sports, the dynamics between men and women, or an Ask Adrian question about your own personal life, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can hit me up on one of my social media platforms. They'll be pinned in the description. Now, on this video, I'm going to cover the Xavier Worthy situation, the wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, he recently had a domestic dispute, and he's now going to sue his ex-girlfriend for defamation and a few other things. And the reason I'm going over these topics is because in my own personal life, when stories like this go on, I do read the story so I can learn maybe what did they do wrong or something they didn't see to where I could implement in my life so I don't go through the same problems or situations. Because as I've always said, you learn from people's mistakes so you don't make them. And I know I didn't say that. That's just a common saying that I know a lot of people say and know about. So I'm going to read the article and then discuss a few tips, a few things that regardless if you're a man or a woman, because this channel is for everybody. Plus, if you're a woman, you may have a son, so you need to learn these things. Stuff like this should be done more in households, but unfortunately they're not. Now, I'm going to put the article on the screen. Now, of course, before I read anything, this is allegedly, so until they go to court, I cannot say for sure. I can't say matter-of-factly that this is true. I just want to go on the record and saying this is alleged. So I'm going to put the article on, and y'all, I'm going to put the article on the screen, and you can follow along. This is from the New York Post. Chiefs receiver Xavier Worthy sues ex-fiancee for extortion after choking accusations. Xavier Worthy filed a lawsuit against his ex-fiancee in Williamson County, Texas, alleging that she stole and destroyed over $150,000 in cash and property, along with assaulting the NFL wide receiver. Worthy's suit alleges that Tia Jones schemed to extort a home, money, cars, and other valuables by concocting false stories of domestic violence, and the Chiefs receiver's lawyers are seeking between $250,000 and $100 million in damages, according to the Kansas City Star. Worthy was arrested March 7th on suspicion of assault of a family member by impeding breathing circulation, but prosecutors declared to press charges. Now, what they're talking about with that is they had a supposedly Xavier Worthy put his hands on his ex-girlfriend. But this is why he's countersuing, because that's defamation, because that's going to hurt his public image, because the charges was dropped and he's saying he didn't even put his hands on her. The suit now claims all of it stemmed from Worthy asking Jones in February to leave the residence that he had bought following the alleged discovery of infidelity on the part of Jones. Worthy, according to the suit, asked Jones to leave the residence and offered to find her apartment nearby multiple times over a 12-day span, but she refused the offer. In the lawsuit, Worthy include photos of damage to his game room and where his hair had been torn out of his head. Rather than leave and separate amicably, defendant Jones became enraged and engaged in a series of abusive, extortive efforts against the plaintiff and destroyed his game room, including his gaming desk and console, a PS5, and the key to his Rolls Royce, the lawsuit stated, according to ESPN. Defendant Jones began physically assaulting plaintiff by scratching his face, ripping parts of his hair out, causing him pain and injury. Jones' attorney declined to comment on why Worthy's lawsuit when reached by the Kansas City Star on Monday. The 24-year-old Jones is a track and field star who has competed in international events. Jones filed for and was granted an order of protection earlier this month. Worthy applied for a protection order against Jones on Monday. Yeah, so overall, not a good situation. And like I said, the reason I go over these things or read these stories is not because I care about celebrity gossip. It's more to where can I learn what happened and what can I do to learn from this. And this is one thing I want all men to know, regardless of how much status you have and money. Now, I don't know if she cheated, but if she did cheat, men, all of you can be cheated on. You could be the richest man, you could be the best looking man, you could have the best body. It doesn't matter. If the woman is going to cheat on you, she's going to cheat. Because I don't want men out here thinking that just because you have a lot of money, just because you may be attractive, or just because you may be a star, that protects you from cheating. No, it doesn't. But that's something I already understood. And that's why I believe you should never crash out over a woman, especially if she cheats on you. Your best thing is doing what he did, was wanting to end the relationship and move on. Because the only way you could get revenge is by success, not by trying to stay and force someone to stay with you. after they cheated. And another thing all men and women can learn from it is you need to have cameras in your house, because now this turns into a he say, she say. That's why even at workplace situations, I always make sure I'm around a camera. You never know. A lot of people are weak and pathetic. They will make lies on you or play a victim when they were in the wrong. I've been a victim of it, but because I had cameras around, I was able to beat that. But I seen these type of cowardly, weak actions from adults, men, women, it doesn't matter. So anyone can do it. So there's no way you could really kind of gauge if someone acts that way. The only thing you can do is just protect yourself the best way possible. Then number 3, men, if you want a woman to leave your house, you don't have to give her 12 days. If I was you, you could do one or two things. First, call the police so they could come to your place of residence to escort her out if your name is on the lease. Now, if her name is on the lease, then if I don't know the court system or wherever state you're in, I believe she's on the lease. She can't technically leave unless there's a physical altercation, but don't fact check me on that. Check where you live, and I think all of you should know your state's laws about domestic disputes. Yeah, get the cops involved if you are on the lease to have her leave the premises, because there is nothing bad, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't make you weak for calling the cops, because by you calling the cop, it gives you more evidence just in case if anything goes wrong that you did proper protocol. And I know some people don't trust the cops, and I get that, but you still need to have some type of concrete evidence if this goes to court. That's why, think about it, if you have the cameras, if you get the cops, you're starting to build a case in your direction because you didn't do anything wrong. And number 3, if she did put her hands on him, if this was the first time, I would say you immediately leave any woman alone who puts their hands on you. I don't care what the argument is, and I don't even care if I have a daughter. I would tell my daughter it's never okay to put your hands on a man, regardless of what happens. Keep your hands to yourself. And if it's true, because remember, this is allegedly, because it's a lawsuit, they haven't went to court yet. If this is true, I could make an assumption, because I don't know it's true, but she got mad, she got caught cheating, he wanted to leave, so she got mad at him and started to destroy his things and put hands on him. And that goes back to the cameras. If he has cameras, which I don't know, maybe he does, but if he has cameras, you could see the video evidence of her putting hands on him and also destroying his game room and the Rolls Royce key. And if you remember the Johnny Depp situation, he had cameras and had recording. So it's unfortunate. We always hear this saying that a lot of people will say, if you really have to do all that, that person's not right for you. You'll never know what people would do to you. Some of the loved ones or people you consider your husband, your wife, or people you care about, they could turn on you in an instant and do some hateful, heinous things that you thought they could never do to you. This is why I say, unfortunately, you should always record yourself when there's a domestic dispute or a confrontation, and also be around cameras or have cameras in your own house. And the last point is, this is why it's important to make money, because since Xavier Worthy has status and money, he can get a good lawyer. Think about if he was a regular average Joe working at a regular job, 9 to 5 like everybody else. He may not have access to those type of resources. And I don't know if you heard this saying, but there's a saying that goes, you only get to justice that you could pay for. That also ties to what I always say on this channel, that why you have to work hard and make as much money as you can. It's not for materialistic things and spend your money frivolously. It's for stuff like this. So when it comes to your name, you can protect it, because when it comes to your image and your name, once it's tarnished, you can never get it back. So men and women, I appreciate y'all watching this video, and hopefully you take a few tips and start doing this in your own life, because when all of these things happen, I read them. So, okay, where did they go wrong? Or is there something that I can implement in my life where it won't happen to me? So y'all remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next video.